Greetings to one and all watching. This is Damayanti, a student of class 10 from Auxilium Convent School, DumDum. And I am here to express my views on why I think vulnerability is never a weakness but a powerful strength to be harnessed within oneself. As I journeyed into understanding vulnerability, I wondered, is vulnerability really one's disadvantages? Or is it a deeper fear of what the world would have to say about ourselves? How can we ever equate vulnerability with weakness when in reality it takes immense courage to face our weaknesses and show the world our true selves? Allowing ourselves to be seen how we truly are with all our fears and imperfections gives courage to others to do the same as well. And frankly, this is how I believe lifetime friendships as well as relationships are made. Today, our lives are filled with never-ending hustle and bustle. Very few even take the time to keep track of their all-round development, especially emotional growth. When we confront and express our vulnerabilities, we grow as a person, as well as become better equipped to deal with the lemons that life might throw at us. Daring to be vulnerable helps us take creative risks. Always remember, Vincent van Gogh's willingness to explore his inner emotions and conflicts through his art gave us masterpieces that continue to inspire. Well, the concept of vulnerability as a strength is not just limited to historical figures. It can be found in our daily lives as well. I was reminded of this through a deeply personal experience that I had with my dog, who was a stray that lived in a cardboard box near our house. We took him in because he had such a terrible injury in his left hind leg that made it nearly impossible for him to move around. I felt especially bad for him because while the other neighborhood dogs would simply spend all day gambling around, poor Roxy could never join them or get the zoomies. I named him Roxy. We took Roxy to many doctors, but they all said that poor Roxy could never walk properly. Well, while we all stayed busy feeling sorry for Roxy's leg, Roxy was busy sharpening his other faculties. He had such curious little eyes that always looked like they were keen to help. He had such a uniqueness in his bark that made it nearly impossible for anyone to ignore him. His sense to sense peril was also heightened. Well, one day when I was getting ready to take Roxy to the vet for his monthly vaccinations, I noticed that Roxy was missing, but I could hear that familiar call. To be honest, I don't think I have ever heard Roxy barking that loud before. Well, I spent no further time wasting and rushed straight to him. I saw that Roxy was barking next to a small child who was sitting in a corner on the pavement all by herself because she could not find her parents. A small crowd had formed as well. Due to Roxy's unique barking, he had caught the attention of some locals, leading to the little lost girl successfully reuniting with her parents. Well, if it hadn't been for Roxy, who knows what dangers could have awaited that little girl. She could have been kidnapped or maybe mauled by the other street dogs. On that day, I was dumbfounded by the immense courage and compassion that my little vulnerable creature showed. The poor critter, who couldn't even walk 2 steps without falling over, had somehow gathered up the immense courage that is needed to help another helpless person in need. My buddy, Roxy, showed me that a vulnerability is never a weakness, but an opportunity to strengthen ourselves further. His example should be our takeaway to approach life with true strength, That is, with our willingness to be open, authentic, and always kind and caring to each other. Thank you very much for listening to me.